Hello, my name is Harold, this is TechonTech, and today we are doing the second video in our Wish.com video set. So let's get to it. So for the last week or so, we have been messing around with the items that we bought from Wish. In fact, I'm going to show you those items now. From the top, we have two of the SIM card readers because we lost one of them and we wanted to test it, and so we bought a second one, and well, we'll talk about that in a minute. We ordered a knee brace. Formatting issues aside, we could not get that to show up all the way here, but it's important to note that it was $7.92. We bought a solar panel, a 3, 10, or 60 watt solar panel, give or take, a universal AC adapter, a pocket artillery mini cannon, a second non-backlit version of a wireless keyboard, a Bluetooth earphone. Here's the other SIM card reader, a $3.13 waterproof wristband smartwatch, which also noted we got a refund for, and that's about it. So how did we do? Well, let's start from the top. The solar panel. It works. In fact, we brought it out in the light, it came to life, the light came on the back, and we were able to plug it into different devices and actually charge them. Now, we could not get the 60 watts out of it that they said that could theoretically be done, or maybe we're just reading it wrong. That's also something that happens with Wish, where they will post something and then they'll change the wording later and everything just gets weird. But what we can tell you is it works. Now, the bad news is at its current price, it basically rounded out to be about $20, because remember, all the items here, once you purchase them, you have to pay for shipping, and that doubles the cost. So we paid probably about $20 for the solar panel, which we later found out was exactly what it would have cost to just go buy a portable solar panel from eBay. So we're going to call that one a break even. But it works, and it works for fairly low voltage, and that is the solar panel. The second one, and arguably the more wanted item that people have been wondering about, is this. Now, we used what we had access to in order to do this, and the BB flew about 2 feet. In fact, we'll play that again so you guys can see it. We loaded it. We won't say with what, but we loaded it. And we got about 2 feet. In fact, you can see the BB just kind of plop over there on the cardboard for a second. Now, we think that if we had been sent something that was designed for it, it probably would have worked better if we weren't trying to like find or use what we had just laying around. There's actually a video online of somebody who has a small Canon like this, a little bit bigger than this one. He launches it and it works great. So this one, we're going to chop up and we're going to call this one, we don't have the correct stuff to be able to use it. We think it might, but with what we have here, it just didn't work. Item number 3, the watch. Now, we at first didn't think this watch was going to work until we found out that the two little prongs on the wristband were actually direct prongs that you can literally just plug this directly into a USB port, at which point, when we did it, it came to life. Now, on the back, it seems to have some sensors. It has a light. We can scroll through the different settings on it. We found that it would not connect no matter what we tried to get it to connect to a smartphone or anything like that. We actually tried a couple of them and then loaded the software that's supposed to interface with it, and we just could not get it to go. So we kept at it, and well, right now, as you can see on screen, we're testing the heart monitor and stuff like that. Now keep in mind, it's not on my wrist, and these are the results that we're getting. And it was because of stuff like this that we started getting really, really nervous. So here I am rerunning the test and resetting the values so I can see what the values are if I am not even wearing it. We'll give it a couple of seconds to do that. Oh, here we go. It looks like the heart rate of my table is 70, and then the blood pressure is 113/87, which isn't particularly bad blood pressure. But then again, my table probably isn't particularly stressed out. Seriously though. Guys, this watch came in at $3.13, $6 if you double it for shipping. And the only component that worked might actually be a random number generated value. I mean, if you're relying on this thing for its value and it seems to just be generating these values without even doing anything. I don't know how else to describe this. It's pulling values out of itself. It doesn't matter if you're wearing it or not wearing it. It does not line up with a proper heart monitor and blood pressure monitor. We know, we tried. So this one actually is not even in the middle ground. This is on the side where we recommend you don't buy this, because this could actually be dangerous for you to use if you are relying on those results. So there's the smartwatch. The brace. Okay, so the brace wasn't bad. In fact, it's a pretty standard brace. We put it on, we used it. It's fairly hard pressed. We couldn't really find anything wrong with it. On the cost side, we found it, let's see, it cost approximately $7.92 from Wish. We doubled that cost because of the shipping variance, which we'll cover real quick. You'll notice the items total was $32. The shipping was $29.74. If you look over on this one, $11.93 and $16 shipping. What you find is most of these items we have to double up on cost to account for shipping. So when we take the knee brace here of $7.92, we assume the actual cost to be about $16. And when we compare the knee brace to eBay, in fact, we can actually find the exact same knee brace on eBay. In fact, here it is. It's pretty much exactly the same cost or price that we got it for. So we're going to call the brace a break even. But now let's break off of that and let's tell you what actually exceeded our expectations. So let's switch over to live and let's go to our shelf of stuff here, and let's show you this awesome device. You guys may remember this from when we unboxed everything and showed it to you, and that is the light up wireless keyboard mouse. It's got a mouse function here, just like a laptop. You just run your finger across it and it works. And you've got a full-size keyboard and stuff that you can use here. Guys, this thing is great. In fact, I'm going to switch over to the computer here that it's plugged into, and as you can see, the mouse moves around. It does exactly like it's supposed to. If I go click on a box and I start typing in letters, the letters type in just like they're supposed to. And when we switch back, I can tell you right now that this thing does have a rechargeable battery inside of it that came with it, and we were able to recharge it, and the thing works absolutely great. In fact, when we account for the fact that this thing cost, let's pull it up on the invoice. It's the light up version of it. Here we go, backlit version. $4.86, we'll call that 10 with shipping. the price for this thing, for what we paid for it, and the value that we get out of it is really, really good. So guys, if it wasn't for working our way through the broken stuff, this was a heck of a deal, which, by the way, I want to add, is going to be given away along with the rest of this stuff. Details will be in the description of this video. And basically what we're going to do is give this stuff away to some people. And this one in particular, we have to give this away. This is just such an awesome device. It works so well. It's handheld, albeit a little bit unconventional to hold it and use it. But this thing was great. The alternative, which was $1 less, unfortunately, did not come with a rechargeable battery. Instead, it takes AAAs, and we don't even know if those AAAs will charge, or if, because this does have a micro USB plug on it, if that will actually overcharge the batteries and cause them to swell. We don't know. What we do know is that 2 AAA batteries and then plug the dongle into the device actually works pretty well. So as you can see, there's a little USB stick that's in there that you can plug into the computer to make it work. Guys, these things actually worked really, really well. And I mean, even barring the fact that the other one for another $1 was a much, much better deal, this thing was still great. We still love this thing, but we really love this thing. And as I said, this will all be given away. This is just really neat. And this made it worth it. Speaking of which, as long as we have all this stuff over here, average on our list was the selectable wattage, actually that'd be selectable voltage AC adapter. And let's see, what do we have to say about the selectable voltage AC adapter? Well, for approximately $8 adjusted, it actually seems to work exactly like we would expect. The only thing that was a little bit weird about this is that if you look at the picture on here, you can see that it's, I believe that's a European or United Kingdom. Yep. EU or UK or AU plug. And what they actually ended up sending us was the one we needed, funny enough, which was a US plug. Now, we selected the voltage and we plugged it into something that charges USB stuff. It worked perfectly fine. We figure on the open market right now, these would typically run about $12 to $15. We paid $8 for this. And we feel that the, let's see, it's about 60% of the total value on it. We feel this was a pretty good deal. So we're going to call this one a win. We're going to call this one a win. And we're going to call this one a mostly win. Now, if you recognize this from the unboxing, this is the Bluetooth headset. And if you can look at it just right, you can see that it says about 76% battery. We actually did take this and we connected it to a phone and we used it. Audio impressions were that it's a little high-pitched. They used probably a really cheap speaker and a really cheap mic, but they work, albeit from that fairly high-pitched. And for the price that was paid, we found these came in at about $12 to $16. This one came in at approximately $8. In fact, let's switch over and let's show you where that one falls on here. We found that this one fell in, okay, so about $7. And we found that on eBay, a typical Bluetooth earphone could be had for about approximately 12 to 16. So we figure just like the AC adapter, that it was about 60% of the value. You can tell they cheaped out a little bit to make up that difference, but we are calling that functionally usable. We are calling this functionally usable. And let's move on to the final set here, which is our SIM card reader and writer, etc. There we go. All right, so we actually ended up buying 2 of these because one of them broke, or no, correction. We ended up buying 2 of these because we actually ended up losing one of them, and we really, really wanted to see what this thing would do. And, well, they both did the same thing. Take a look over here on the screen. We have it plugged in, and we have a SIM card in it, which we ended up rigging to it. Not that it mattered much, because we have been unable to get either of them to work. Over here in Device Manager, we found that the PL230-2303HXA phased out since 2012. That appears that whatever controller is on here is basically... I mean, they actually wrote this into the name of the driver. I mean, that is really, really weird. And yeah, okay, so there probably is a new one, and we probably ought to be using that one. But that said, we could not get this to work. We downloaded the drivers, we ran it on a couple different computers. Nothing. We think it will maybe work with some continued experimentation, but since we were kind of just hoping it would work right out of the box and suck out our phone contacts so we could back them up and stuff, well, it didn't. And then it does weird stuff like this, and we're like, well, it's so old, or whatever they used is so out of date that Windows, the driver that Windows has embedded, in fact, I think it picked this driver up right out of the box. And even after we installed and updated it, still just did this. So we just got some really, really weird stuff going on here. But we're going to call it a fail. In fact, we're going to call them both a fail because they just didn't work. Funny story, there is actually a lot of documentation, a lot of stuff about these online. We think there is a lot more to them, and we may look into them later. But we are calling that an F. So here, we actually got it plugged in. We've got a SIM card in it. No-go. You know, it's funny. We knew going into this with these items that it was going to be hit or miss, because Wish.com has a history of cheap stuff or weird stuff or scams or just not normal purchases. And we can honestly say that they lived up to that. We definitely got some good stuff, and we definitely got some bad stuff out of this. And would we do it again? Yes. But would we do it like order these as gifts and give to somebody? Probably not. I feel like this is real niche, and it's for somebody who just wants to play around, not necessarily seriously buy a product and then use it. So we're not specifically going to recommend this stuff unless you've got a little bit of time and money and just fun or interest. Although we will recommend buying that keyboard, because that keyboard is absolutely awesome, and we absolutely loved it. And look at that. I will include a link in the description that we will not even get paid for posting on there, but we liked it so much, we will post it there anyway and not get paid for it, just so you guys can have it. And that's barring the person or persons that we decide to give a bunch of this stuff to anyway. Noted, I will post that in the description of the video. We think that this is worth giving away, and the rest of this stuff. And we think it would be fun to go ahead and give it to our viewers because... in fact, give me 1 second. I'm going to see if I still have that up over here on the side. In fact, it looks like I do. TechonTech, which isn't officially there yet. There we go. Just reached 100 subscribers. Also, thank you to subscriber 106 also. As I'm checking this, these items, I'm going to figure out a way to funnel to you guys, because that seems poetically the right thing to do for it, or for them and for you guys. So guys, I hope you have a great rest of the day. Wish.com is still hit or miss, but there's some interesting stuff about some of the stuff we bought. We hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, this is TechonTech. Have a good one.